can also send you a link, Christy, if you want to text that back to people.
I'm not sure I'll be able to, but I can try.
Okay.
Luke, Jessica Spang just texted me. She's trying to get into the meeting.
Oh, and she can't. Okay. I'll see if I can invite her separately.
Okay.
So I made it.
So next, we have another returning teacher, Amy Lutz. She's middle school 6th through 8th humanities. Amy, you want to say hi? Did you make it into the session?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
There she is.
We're super excited. This is awesome. And we middle school teachers can't wait to love on your kids. We're very excited to meet all the families. So welcome back.
And Amy will be coaching the 6th through 8th grade teachers this year. So Christy and Amy, again, I can't say enough how much they have this dialed down, and those families that are returning can vouch for how good they are. They're amazing. And the best part is the teachers joining them are just as high a quality. So we're very excited. So I'm going to start with kindergarten. Mary Rior is coming to us from Ewing Young, and she's going to have all the kinders. You want to say hi, Mary?
Hello, kindergarten families. I'm very excited to be with you. I love kindergartners. I love 5-year-olds, and I love the parents too. So we're going to have a great time this year.
Right. Thank you, Mary. And first grade teacher coming to us from Crater is Jana Gesso. Did I say that right, Jana?
Gesso.
Gesso. So
yeah.
So Jana has been at Crater Elementary.
Hello.
All right, and next we have a first grade teacher coming to us from Joan Austin Elementary School. She's been in the district over about 25 years, and that is Chris Smith. You want to say hi, Chris?
Hello, I'm really excited to get to know my families and all the families.
Coming to us from Dundee Elementary School to teach 2nd grade is Joy Simph.
Hi everyone, I'm looking forward to working with you this year. I know some of you kiddos that are coming to me, so I'm excited to work with you and the families.
Thank you, Joy. Coming to us from Mabel Rush Elementary School, she's going to be teaching a 2-3 blend, half 2nd grade, half 3rd grade, and that's Jessica Fox. You want to say hi, Jessica?
Good evening. I'm very excited to work with all of you, and I see a lot of Mabel Rush families on my list, so I'm very excited about that.
Another Dundee teacher joining us, teaching 3rd grade, and that's Julie Wilson. You want to say hi, Julie? Julie might not have made it in.
Julie's there, but she's muted.
Okay.
There we go. I thought I hit the button.
Okay.
Hi guys, I am going to be teaching 3rd grade this year online with you, so I'm excited to meet you all when we get started.
Thank you, Julie. Coming from Joan Austin, teaching a 4-5 combination, Sarah Thomas.
Sarah is here, but she hasn't made it on, I don't think yet.
Okay, so she's in the YouTube version.
I hope not. I hope she made it to the live feed.
Well, we're excited to have Sarah. She's next, coming from Edwards Elementary School, Eric Fuchs, teaching 4-5. You want to say hi, Eric? Did he make it on?
Yes, I'm right here. Thank you. Yeah, guys, I'm also very excited to be engaged in this experience with you. Looking over my list, I have pretty much all the 4th and 5th grade students from Edwards who are enrolled, so I'm very excited about that. And also quite a few Mabel Rush students as well. So I look forward to working with the families that I've had the opportunity to work with in the past, as well as establishing relationships with the new families.
Thank you, Eric. Coming to us from Chehalem Valley Middle School, teaching 4th, 5th grade is Kim McDonough.
Hey everybody, I am so excited to get to meet you. I think 4th and 5th grade is just like the absolute best. So I think we're gonna have an awesome year and I can't wait to get to know all of you.
Thanks, Kim. Now we move on to the 6th through 8th grade teachers. I've introduced Amy. Coming to us from Chehalis Valley Middle School, teaching humanities, is Kelly Romo.
Hi, I'm very excited to be on this team with these wonderful teachers. I'm excited to meet the families that I don't already know, and I think we're going to have an awesome year.
Thank you, Kelly. Coming from Newburgh High School, agreed to go take on these middle school kids, and Doyle Holtzman, teaching humanities.
Hi, yeah, looking forward to meeting all of you. I'm looking over the names of attendees and looks like some of us have met before. And when I work as an instructional facilitator too, I was booking in and out of middle school classes. So it's great to be able to learn something new and to dive in with all of you.
Thank you. Also coming from Newburgh High School, teaching math, is George Vincent.
Hi, everyone. I'm looking forward to working with your students, and I love to work with parents too. This is new to me as far as the online instruction, but I used Google Classroom a lot the last several years as a math teacher at the high school, so it's not totally foreign to me. And I just really look forward to working with the staff here and with your students. We'll talk soon.
Coming from Catalyst High School to teach humanities is Tim Baker. Did Tim make it on? Or is he in the YouTube?
I didn't get him over yet. If he is here, I'll take a look and see if I can find him and
Okay.
get him on the panelist side, but he may
And-
not have made it over before we hit capacity.
And joining us from Chehalis Valley Middle School, we really kind of picked Chehalis Valley clean, didn't we? Jessica Spang, teaching science, 6th through 8th grade. And I think Jessica was also in here, but didn't make the.
Yeah, she's trying to get in and we are not at capacity. So I'm trying to increase our capacity right now to see if we can get more people in the actual Zoom. But yeah, she's watching on YouTube, I believe.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into answering the questions. First, what day do school lessons officially start? I'm going to go officially September 14th, but I'm going to let Christy handle this and explain how we normally start our year.
Christy, I think you're muted right now.
There we go. All right. So like Tim said, the official start date is the 14th, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking each thing kind of step by step. This is a whole new journey for a lot of you, and we want to make sure that you have the tools and you feel like you're ready to start it. So are we expecting you to start lessons on September 14th? No. The first thing we're going to do is make sure everybody has a Chromebook. And so those dates are scheduled. We have handouts next Thursday and Friday, the 9th and the 10th. So that's the first job. So once we make sure everyone has tools, then we're going to get curriculum handed out. We've had 3 rounds of ordering in the last about, less than a week. And so once they go through each process of going through the district office, the materials are ordered and then they come. For those of you that didn't hear, our awesome secretary, she took her horse trailer because there was 3 pallets of curriculum that needed to get here to the school district. So we'll have 2 more rounds of that. Once all the curriculum is here, we have a system all set up. We're going to be handing curriculum out over 2 or 3 days. We want you to have some time to look through the materials because we understand you are undertaking a huge responsibility. A lot of the educating of your kids is going to come from your day-to-day interactions with them. Of course, you have an awesome team over here that's ready to help. So once we have Chromebooks, once we have curriculum, then we're going to spend a couple of weeks meeting with each family, either virtually or in person, and we're going to be answering questions. We're going to be logging on to the platforms and whatnot. Then we're going to start. So you can see that that's going to take several days and weeks for us to work through. That doesn't mean that as you feel more comfortable, you can get started. It just means that we're going to be providing some guidance along the way. So I wish I had a date to say, yep, we're going to start on the 18th, but Until we get curriculum in your hands, you've had time to explore it, and we've had time to help you. It's kind of a soft start. So we want you just to all take a deep breath. We will get to great learning. It just isn't going to happen right on the 14th.
Tim, I'm going to interrupt you while you're muted. And it looks like we got a couple more teachers in potentially, and we've bumped up the number of attendees possible. So everyone can get in on the Zoom link now, but I think, I believe Sarah's here now, and maybe Jessica as well, if they want to say hi and introduce themselves.
Okay, so Sarah, we introduced you earlier. Joan Austin, 4th, 5th grade. You want to say hi, Sarah?
Hi, I'm super excited, and I'm bringing a 4th grader along with me this year too, so we're going to do this together.
Thank you, Sarah. And Jessica Spang from Shamrock Middle School, Humanities.
I may not actually have gotten her promoted to panelist
Okay.
yet. I'm sorry.
Not a problem. So is COA curriculum online or a combo of online and textbooks? It is both. It is, you can have curriculum that's entirely online, and you can have curriculum that's a combination of both online and textbooks. You want to go more in depth than that, Christy? You look like you're ready to jump in.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I would have said. The older your child is, the more online experiences they're going to have. The younger your child is, the more paper and pencil experiences they're going to have. All students in COA, however, will have an online component.
Okay, good question. If we choose a teacher-approved required curriculum, how is that decision made, and when will we find out if it was approved? I'll let Amy run with this one.
For the most part, if you didn't hear from one of us, we put you in with that curriculum, but we can always reassess if it's the right fit. But that's where we're at right now. So.
I love this question. What an awesome team. So thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you, Lindsay.
We're pretty proud of this group. So. Oh, not a question. Hi, Mrs. Rior. So glad to see you here.
Aww.
Awesome. Miles Pinner. Looks like the Zoom hit the, okay, yeah, we got that taken care of. When do we find out who our teachers are? So we received our teachers' names Friday. We got a couple on Monday, and on Tuesday is when we got our last teacher. So we started creating teachers lists Tuesday evening, and we've been working on it till about noon today, and we have a final list. So you will be hearing from your teacher soon. Next week we'll start working together to write up some postcards or something to send out to you to welcome you to the school and welcome you to your teacher. So I know they've gotten a couple different lists as we've tried to get that pinned down. So they're hoping this is the final list, and I believe it is. So, and just a reminder, we would have, well, we didn't want to. It would have been great if we could have started like a month ago, this process, but we wanted to give as many families as possible the opportunity to hear the difference between CDL and COA. And we thought it was probably most important to get our students in the right seat, whether that be CDL in the regular school or COA doing non-synchronized instruction. And so I think it was worth that extra time, but it is making this a sprint. So be patient with us. You're going to be hearing from your teacher, your child's teacher soon. And they've been in pretty much nonstop training on how to do this since they got told they were doing it. Do you have a Chromebook, or can we use our own iPads or computer? We have Chromebooks, but you are more than welcome to use your own iPads or computers. The older iPads probably won't work on the curriculum, but I do believe, Luke can probably help me with this. I do believe that the new iPads will work on the curriculum, if you have a newer iPad.
Yeah, you know, some of the older tablets, we found that the latest version of some of the curriculum is having some weird issues. So we would recommend going with one of our Chromebooks. But someone else asked the same question. And if you have a touchscreen device or something else you want to try out, that's great. And you can do that and give it a shot. But yeah, if something's not working, we definitely have a Chromebook available for you to do that. Tim, I think there was a question about if there would be a chance to just quickly maybe reintroduce everyone and what grades they are, because some people missed out because they were locked out because I didn't have our attendee cap high enough.
You know, why don't, yeah, that would be a great, why don't we finish, like wrap it up with that?
Sounds good.
What is the structure of teachers for middle school teachers? It appears that is subject-based and not grade-based. So they might have access to multiple teachers. Is that correct? So your students will be in subject and will be in grade level subjects in the middle school. We have a group of teachers that are primarily going to take the social studies, language arts subjects, and we have Jessica is going to be the science teacher for 6 through 8, and George Vincent's going to be the math teacher for 6 through 8, and they will be. It'd be like if in a middle school there was a group of, you know, he had 25 first period, 25 second period. Now students can move ahead or if they want to, as far as getting ahead in math or social studies. I might go ahead and turn it over to Amy to go over how it's looked in the past when she was her and Ellison together were the 6th to 8th grade teachers.
Yeah, so there were 2 of us. I did language arts and social studies, and Allison Childs did math and science. And we had all the kids, all the grades, and shared them as advisory loads. So what we will have as far as advisors go, their language arts teachers will be their advisors. And we've tried to group families together so that the families have one teacher as their advisor and contact, and then they'll also add in the science and math teachers as well. So there should be a team of 3 teachers with each child.
This question is, we didn't choose curriculum. Were we supposed to? I would, yeah, please contact Lynette Hammond at hammondl@newburgh.k12.or.us. And it's on our website, and she can help you with the process of choosing your curriculum.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah, please.
So on the beginning of this week, I believe it was Tuesday, was the deadline for ordering curriculum. And so what we did to make sure every student had curriculum, we chose the virtual option. So if they were a middle schooler, they'll be using our Edgenuity Odysseyware, and 3rd through 5th, we ordered you Odysseyware, and kindergarten through 2nd grade, we ordered you McGraw-Hill. So that's what we did to make sure everybody had curriculum.
For returning students, can they start the Odysseyware curriculum right away on the 14th? I believe we'll have that ready to go by the 14th. Am I getting ahead of the cart ahead of the horse there?
We are doing everything we can to get as many of you learning as soon as possible. We really are. So Nathaniel, we'll do everything we can to make sure that your child can get to work.
So I have a high school student. When will she pick out her curriculum? I have not heard about her yet. So high school's different. Sandy Otis is handling most of the curriculum there. I would encourage you to send an email to Sandy. I know she sent out a group email explaining the process. So I would reach out to Sandy Otis. Basically, high school students will have Fuel Ed. That's our format, unless something is designed differently during your meeting with Sandy Otis. She will have, at one point you'll have an initial meeting with Sandy, and she will have already created a personal educational plan for your student for their high school years. And then she'll sit down with you and your child, actually sit down in a Google Meet with you and your child, and we'll determine what classes you're going to take in Fuel Ed and what classes you would rather do like a book study, or maybe like an independent study. There's also options for PCC. So go ahead and if you can't get a hold of Sandy, go ahead and email me. Last year, a stipend was offered for enrichment. Is that still the case this year? It is, so I don't need to answer. But yes, you still, it's $500 for each semester for each child. We have on our website a list of examples of different options that you can choose from. That isn't limited to that. You can also run things by us. Typically, we don't pay for subscriptions. We don't pay for more academic. We don't pay for like one-time entry fees. What we're looking for is for them some extracurricular activity, enriching activity, some type of form of PE, form of art, form of music. We have kids doing Taekwondo. We have horseback riding lessons. We're wanting it to be an enriching experience where we're getting well-rounded students. We're not looking, even though tutoring is not a bad thing, we're not looking to add to tutoring or other things. We're looking for it to be enrichment activities. If you have questions about whether you think you have something you want to do, email Lynette. She usually pops into my office and says, what do you think of this? I say yes or no, and we move on. So, but we're pretty open to most everything. We just want to make sure it's enriching activity. And again, that's $500 first semester, $500 second. Some places you pay up front and then you bring us a receipt and we reimburse you. And some places they will bill us directly. And you cannot carry over amounts. You can't save your 500 for second semester and do 1,000. So you have to spend it. And you need to do a majority of the activity during the first semester. So if it's a week at the end of this semester and the rest is in second semester, we can't pay for that out of first semester. So. Is there a PE curriculum offered? Do you want to take this one, Christy? It's
sure.
the enrichment activities, but she's the one
so
who
part of the reason that the enrichment funds are available to you is so that you can design what PE you want your child to have. So if you have them on swim team, or they want to take swim lessons, or they're doing karate or whatnot, you can use your enrichment funds to design your PE curriculum. So that's how COA covers it.
For second graders who can't do Odyssey Wear, how often are they receiving instruction from a teacher? I'm going to let you answer that one, Christy. Since you
this one. So the way COA works is you have this great team of teachers that you can see standing beside you, behind you, around you as you deliver the instruction to your children. And so their day-to-day learning experiences come from you, their parent, their learning guide. So for your second grader, you will be helping them through their lessons each day. If I am your advising teacher, I'm going to be giving you support and giving you resources and helping you along the way. But the day-to-day interactions actually comes from the parent. That is one of the ways that we can be non-synchronous, is so that the instruction can fit into your daily lives in a way that works.
One of the things that Christy has said to me in describing how this works is she's going to have less interaction with your student than she would if she was in a traditional school. But the interaction she does have is going to be higher quality, because she is going to be able to spend some quality time with your student, where in a classroom you have the whole group and you're instructing to the classroom. So, if I heard right, you have 3, 4, 5 splits. What is the reason for that versus having 1/4, 1/5, and a split? Actually, I played with the numbers many times, and our preference was to have each teacher have 1 grade, and we were able to actually pull that off for the younger grades. It just wouldn't work out mathematically to have that work out evenly in a split. So we ended up going with 3, 4, 5 splits. I think I missed this, but when do we pick up curriculum and where again? You want to take that, Christy?
Yeah. Boy, that is the $1 million question. As soon as we have it and we make sure we have what we actually ordered, we will be getting it sorted. For example, today we had 3 pallet loads. Our awesome secretary took her horse trailer and picked it up today. So we've got 2 more loads about that size coming. So as soon as we have it, we'll get it all sorted, like I mentioned, and then we will have some release time. That's coming sometime the week of the 14th, we think.
Okay. For those selecting Odyssey Wear, will the login information come over email to parents, or will the kids learn that when they talk to their teachers? Amy, you want to take this?
We will, your child's teacher will send out all that information to both you and the student. So you will have access to all of their login information always, because it's a family adventure. Yeah, it will be coming from your teacher directly.
So I have not made curriculum choices yet. So much to explore. Am I too late? You're too late to get the McGraw-Hill at this point. We'll start you in the Edgenuity or Odyssey Wear, but we can always reevaluate and look at your students' needs and consider that later. Right now, it's just probably going to be too late to get the curriculum. We may be looking at a month out. Right now, there's a lot of districts ordering curriculum, so it's probably too late to do it. For them to start initially, but we will more than willing to evaluate and find out what is the best needs for your child at a different point. Will we have access to apps like Epic or Amplify Reading like we did last year? My son is coming from Mabel Rush.
Yeah,
Luke?
I was actually tackling that today. I talked with Dr. Mears, and they're trying to evaluate how we can get access to Epic. Amplify is a different curriculum adoption, so I know we won't be using that one. McGraw-Hill, if that's the curriculum that you're using, it comes with a very large bank of all sorts of reading, all types of genres and reading. So we hope to have something. It will show up on your Clever. Every child will have a Clever account, and you'll be able to see if you have access to Epic.
Is there a list of approved electives, specifically something that my child can explore Spanish as an elective? We do have on our website a list of, we more call it recommended electives because we don't want it to seem like that's all we're allowing you to do. You can look at that list. You can find it on our website. You scroll down to the bottom, there's a whole bunch of forms, and it's one of the forms, and it says, it's pretty obvious, it says something about electives. I don't think there's anything connected to Spanish instruction or learning Spanish there, but I would be wide open to being creative and finding ways. I think that would be a great enriching activity for your student. So let's explore that together and try to see if we can figure something out for that. Can the stipend money be used for student supplies such as art supplies for enrichment, or is it only for approved classes programs? If your child is in lessons or an art class, we would consider it as part of, like, paying for part of that as part of the class, but we don't want to pay for supplies for the most part. So if they're taking at the cultural center an art class and there's costs there, fees for the materials, that can be part of the 500. But to just buy materials, take it home, we want them to go and learn from an instructor and have an experience, an ongoing experience, not just a one-time event. When do we hear about high school students? You should have received an email from Sandy Otis, and she's going to be having individual meetings with every family to set them up with their personal educational plan. So instead of having one of these Zoom meetings, we decided she wanted to do it that way because high school, every kid is so different with their credits. And she is working her way from seniors first down to freshmen. And if you didn't get an email, please email me and I will forward the email she sent out that explains the whole process. So I know that she has she didn't actually start work till Monday, but she's since about July 20th, she's been, any kid who has jumped in, she's been creating personal educational plans for every student that's coming into the program. So I think you'll really enjoy that meeting with Sandy. She's impressive, and she has a plan for your student. For students on an IEP, when will we be able to meet with a teachers to put together a plan for them? So your students' homeschool special ed teacher is going to be their case manager, and they will be setting up meetings the same way as if they were in their homeschool. And then your student's teacher will be invited to that meeting, and we'll create a plan that will make sure they get their specially designed instruction. But that will be done through, like if you live in the Edwards boundaries, then the Edwards, a special ed teacher from Edwards will be your student's case manager. If we are using our own computer and have chosen Odysseyware, how soon can we gain access to the software? We are working right now with the reps from Odysseyware and Ingenuity, and I see emails every day from my staff and them. So it's being set up as we speak. So it shouldn't be too long. I don't want to make any promises because we're kind of at the mercy of these publishers, and every school in the nation are trying to get online stuff. Right? The Odysseyware Ingenuity is going to be the easiest of them all. So I would predict by the 14th you'll be on there, but I don't want to promise that.
Yeah, just a side note, our teachers, we have a lot of new staff, and so Monday, they're scheduled just to learn how to operate these programs. So we want to give our teachers time to learn and to understand before we kick it out there and parents are needing help. So let's make sure our teachers have time to learn too.
And that's an 8-hour training. So bless the teachers. For high school kids, have you already ordered? So Fuel Ed, we already have our contract with Fuel Ed. We have plenty of site licenses for that. So we're all set there. That one will be a little easier because we already have site licenses in place. Sandy just has to put your name into the system, and they're up and running. With Edgenuity and Odysseyware, we're going from about 25 licenses up to about 150 licenses. And then in years past, Amy and Allison knew exactly what to do. Well, this year we're having 13 new teachers be trained in this. So just be very patient with our amazing teachers, because they are going to be on a learning curve here. They're going to be learning with you. But these are some of the most successful teachers in our school district. So it's going to be an amazing experience for your child. Elementary students, mine is a first grader from Joan Austin, did not reach the math and reading skills they typically would at the end of the school year due to distance learning. How will this issue be addressed as they start their grade level curriculum? Will there be assessments? Want to grab this one, Christy?
Sure. Yeah. The teachers and I actually have had several conversations around this very idea. So we're very aware. So here's one of the cool parts about COA that I love. It's the fact that I truly get to spend time with each family on my caseload and figure out what the child needs and how to get there, and then come up with a plan to make it happen. And so that's what you will be doing with your child's teacher. Part of why we take so long to really get up and going is because we really want that learning to be valuable. We know you're learning as a parent, and we know we want the best for kids. So we take the time to do that at the beginning. So I would anticipate, Alice, that being a discussion that you have with your child's teacher in an orientation setting, like a conference.
And I'd like to add, I don't know why it made me think of this, but I know that the parents, my feedback from the parents have been, this is where we have excelled as COA, is the individual attention their student receives. There is a Facebook page called Friends of COA. We are not a part of it. I actually have never seen it, but it's parents of COA students. And I would encourage you to go jump on that. I hear it's a very friendly place, so keep it a friendly place.
Yeah.
This is a great question. What's the best way to take care of our students' virtual teachers? Amazon gift cards, coffee cards, DoorDash accounts. Luke,
Yes. No, I just.
yes. What's the limit on that, Luke? Is that $50?
I will have to check with our district legal counsel on that one.
It's very kind of you. Thank you. This is so exciting. Will our students have a quick weekly Zoom with their teacher just to check in, or do we only reach out when we're stuck?
Great question. To start off, it's going to, the teachers are going to be working through family to family on their class list. So they'll be reaching out to you to set that up. Once we get up and going and everyone has figured out their schedule and things are starting to roll, we're getting into our learning, then teachers will be meeting to decide how do we get together, because we want to see your faces, we want to be with you, and we're not sure if that's going to be face-to-face or it's going to be over a virtual classroom or how that's going to work. But our goal is that we get back to some sort of a weekly class or a weekly check-in. But definitely reach out when you're stuck. Don't feel like you can't, because we get it. We're right in the midst of feeling stuck and figuring out how to learn and how to help you. So know that we're here to help.
Can you review how the elective reimbursement will work this year? Can we get signed up for art, music, physical ed now, or do we need to wait for school to officially start? I'll answer the last question first. You can get started. We're in September. Let's get it going. If you want to go get signed up, I think that would be awesome to get your kids started. They're probably pretty antsy by now. So if you have something you want to get them into it. And how the reimbursement works is if you pay for it yourself, you get the receipt from from wherever you went. You come to, we bring that to Lynette. I think you can Lynette, I don't know if she's still here, but I think they can email it to Lynette, but there's paperwork you need to fill out. Lynette will guide you through that. She's the brains of that. If it's not on the list on our website, check with Lynette, send her an email. We have those conversations quite often, and we do have to fit under the guidelines that the district has given us. So I try to make sure that we're not falling outside those bounds so we don't lose this. But there's a lot of options. I know there's Shan Valley Park and Rec, the Newburgh Cultural Center. George Fox puts on activities that I know George Fox is having tennis lessons this spring, socially distanced tennis lessons. There's horseback riding on there. I don't know if there's any martial arts going right now, but there's quite a bit on there. And there's a lot of them that are doing it social distancing. This summer we had a George Fox professor of music get a hold of us, and he's offering virtual music lessons. So yeah, I would say my advice is if you can get them started now, get them started now.
They can always, there is a step-by-step process to going through the reimbursement process on our webpage. So you can actually click that if you're pretty sequential and linear and want a to-do list, that's where to go. Go print that out and it will tell you step-by-step how to accomplish it.
So I think after I read this is going to be an Amy question, but when do you need to submit an elective choice class to an enrichment program for a middle schooler? And I don't think you're talking about like the reimbursement, you're talking about for the logging your elective. So I'll let Amy grab this.
Oh, I read that as what you just answered, but we will, your advisory teacher will email you at the end of each week or at the end of each month and let you know when it's time to turn in elective logs. We'll go over all of that in our initial meeting and explain how we will gather that information and the tools we use to do that. So.
Can you explain what you mean by choose your curriculum? On each grade level, there are options. Well, kindergarten through second grade, it's McGraw-Hill. But third grade through eighth grade, there are different options. It's primarily on where you're entirely online or you're partly online and doing some book work. If you haven't chosen curriculum by now, then we've chosen Odyssey-Ware, the online version for you, and that's where we'll start. If we reevaluate later, it's not working for your student, we'll consider other options. But as of now, that's what we mean by choose your curriculum. You have anything to add?
That's great.
Thank you. I was the one that asked about curriculum. I had reached out about curriculum, was told you all would get back to me on that. I wanted more paper, and now it's online because it's past deadline. Is it too late to get more text? That was my reasoning for joining COA. Courtney, go ahead and send me an email. So Sandy Otis is for high school. Who's in charge of middle school emails? You can email Lynette Hammond, our secretary. You can email me, and then we can filter it. If it's about, once you have a teacher assigned, then if it's about instruction, you would email that teacher. But you can also initiate it with me. What is the best way to turn in the enrichment app? I'm not sure I understand the question. Amy or Christy?
I'm wondering if once she's filled out, if maybe it's her receipts, like she's filled out the paperwork to be reimbursed, maybe?
I was thinking like phone app.
I think she meant application, like the enrichment application.
Yeah. So there's an enrichment reimbursement process, and that's just contact Lynette Hammond and she will walk you through that process. Do we pick up Chromebooks, curriculum, etc. on the 14th? Sorry if you added this, answered this. I wasn't able to get right on. You'll get your, we're going to have a, well, I'll go ahead and Christy run with this. She answers it better than I do.
Oh, that's funny. So we are going to be handing out Chromebooks next Thursday and Friday. I believe Thursday's time is 9 to 12 and Friday's time is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will be at the COA classroom or the COA classrooms. If you don't know where that's at, it's down the street from the district office. I like to say it's the lovely blue portables across from the old tennis courts at Rennie Field. So you'll see us there. If you aren't able to pick them up over those 2 days, just let me know. We'll also have hotspots. So if someone's having some internet issues, we'll have a few hotspots that we could hand out too. So that's just the start. If you don't make it, but you still need it, just communicate and we'll work to make that happen for you.
Okay. Do the Chromebooks co-offer have any internet protection to keep the kids safe online? Yes, and I'm going to let Luke answer in better detail than I can.
I was hoping you'd let me answer, Tim. Thanks. Yeah, so the Chromebooks all have 3 layers of filtering on them. So there's kind of what Google has baked in. We pay for another service on top of that. And then we have a third backup that runs all that traffic through our district internet and firewall. So those 3 layers do a whole lot to keep kids safe and block out some of the bad stuff. But I would say that the 4th layer of filter is probably still the most important one, which is that parent being near the kid and checking in on them. And you can check their history, their internet history. We've made it so they can't erase their internet history. So you can sit down with them and look through where they've been and have conversations. And we say this over and over again, even though we have 3 different filters all working, no filter's perfect. So you really do want to be in conversation and talking with and be around your kid and make sure that you're checking in with them. Yeah, and we do have some flexibility. So if there's something going on where you need something unique or more filtering for some reason, we can do that. And that'd be a conversation with Tim, and then Tim would loop me in and we'd make that happen for you.
And one thing that helps students, a little bit of a deterrent, is if they try to go somewhere like a search that's inappropriate and they get blocked, I get an email that notifies me of that. So sometimes that embarrassment factor is enough to keep them from wandering. Some of it's totally innocent, but some of it's not. So it's probably good for your students to know that I get a little email that tells me that they got blocked. Do you need volunteers to help sort the curriculum? I do not think we would turn down volunteers at this point.
I definitely would not. It looks full and we're only on round 1. So if you're interested in helping, just send me an email. We will, first, yeah, there's a lot to do. So I would not turn you away.
Is there a reason we don't order curriculum like we do for middle school and grade school kids? Do you mean the high school? I guess you can't. If you're meaning high school, we use the Fuel Ed, the online version, and there are other options, but we do that on an individual basis with students. Most of the time, that option is we have some like literature classes that we can set up for your student, and there's some history classes. There's quite a few options for independent study and PCC, but we do that because high school is so different. We do that on an individual basis. How do we give you all virtual high fives for being so awesome? Well, you just did. Thank you, Miles. I have 3 boys in the same grade. Wow. If they have different teachers all in Odysseyware, will their assignments be the same typically, or is each teacher's assignment different? In Odysseyware, they're going to have the same assignments. So I don't know for you if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So, but you're a brave lady. 3 boys in the same grade. I admire you. To clarify, confirm, will all contact with advisors be virtual? Previously, in-person tutoring and field trips were offered. Is this all on hold until COVID restrictions are relaxed? You know, as of now, those things are on hold. We are under the same restrictions that the rest of the state are. Eventually, I know there are going to be some options for limited in-person, and we're going to be, I know us in the school district are going to be looking at how do we do that. The state is being, I mean, even that is going to take quite a bit of planning before we can do that. We really enjoyed our in-person stuff, both field trips and the on-site. I know all the teachers are eager to get back to seeing their kids face-to-face, even in a virtual academy. We really enjoy that face-to-face contact. I guess the short answer of it is we won't be having any face-to-face stuff to start with, but we're going to be doing as much as we can as the state guidance allows us. Will COA participate in OBOB? I'm going to show some ignorance here. I don't know what OBOB is. Chrissy, you want to take this?
Yeah, so I'm gonna defer this to Jess Fox because she loves OBOB. So let's let Jess answer it.
Funny enough, doesn't Sarah actually run, or was that Carolyn Davidson? They are the head people for OBOB. I don't see any reason why you couldn't have an OBOB team. You need at least 4 kids, 4 3rd through 5th grade students, or 6th through 8th. You can have up to 5, and I imagine that they're going to be doing it virtually this year, but I know, oh, sorry, I'm getting feedback. The lists were released, and so I can keep you posted.
And just in case anyone else is in the same boat as Tim, what does OBOB stand for? Okay, I can say it. It's Oregon Battle of the Books. So does that answer your question, Tim?
Yes.
It does, and I remember my kids being in that. So I I should have known that.
It is an amazing program, and the books are, my daughter loves them. I have a 4th grader and an 8th grader, and they're always very picked.
Thank you for jumping in, Jessica. How are children with special needs and IEPs going to be handled and get the support they need? So your student's case manager will be—
interrupt you just to let you know that Ann Zeal is on the line, so we could have our special ed director answer this one if we wanted to. Or we could listen to you answer. That'd be fun also.
Ann, you want to jump in?
Sure. They're going to get their supports like Tim talked about earlier from their neighborhood school, whoever that case manager is. They will be inviting them either to a group or individual sessions. It just kind of depends on what actually is in each student's IEP. So since they're all individualized, there isn't really like a blanket statement. It just depends what your child's needs are. But yeah, they'll be contacting you and talking with you about, you know, time of day and when they might be getting online and doing that work with them.
Tim, just while we have Ann here, thanks, Ann. There's a couple more specific questions related to IEPs or special education. Can we just pester Ann with all the questions while she's here right now?
Yeah.
My middle school son's case manager told me via email that she doesn't know how these evaluations are going to happen. How is that going to affect us planning the school year for him? And that's in regards to an IEP.
So there's different kinds of evaluations. So I'm not sure if they're talking about a initial evaluation to see if a student qualifies for special education. So if that's the area of evaluation we're talking about, I'll touch on a couple different things. We are doing in-person evaluating right now. So that is the only area currently that the school district is doing in person. So we do have a little bit of a backlog from spring of consents that we had gained right before COVID hit and we had to shut down. So those will go in priority order. And then if it's a student who we're talking about evaluating just kind of their assessment and what levels they're at, we're still doing those at the beginning of the school year as well. I hope that answered the question.
Thanks, Ann. I think that was good.
Eval.
What?
Lori said it was a 3-year eval. Later in the chat.
Okay, so 3-year reevals, it depends on the student. So if the team decides the student still needs special education, we can do a review of existing data and continue their services during this COVID time. If it's a student who might have made a lot of progress and we're thinking they don't need services anymore, we might do testing to exit. Or if it's a student that we just need more information for planning purposes, then we might do a face-to-face evaluation. It just depends on the scenario again.
Tim, are you ready to keep going? Looks like you're muted. Do you want me to read the next one or you got this?
I got it. I was actually privately answering a parent while they were doing that. So.
Oh, that's a good reminder. I've typed answers to a bunch of them as well. So if you're in the Zoom meeting, you can scroll back through and see some answers in there.
So you will love Sandy. They're talking about Sandy Otis, the high school case manager for high school COA. And yes, I agree. Sandy is awesome. Elementary students, mine is a first grader from Joan Austin, did not reach the math and reading skills they would typically have at the end of the school year due to distance learning. How will this issue be addressed as they start their grade level curriculum? Will there be assessments? A similar question was answered earlier, but they may not have been on. Do you want to answer this again, Christy?
Sure, I think it actually is the same question, but I'm happy to answer it again. All families will be meeting with their child's advisory teacher, and you'll be going through that kind of information. You'll be able to share your concerns, and together you'll come up with a plan. Yes, there will be assessments. Assessments are inevitable in a public school system. So yeah, we will be doing assessments to try to help guide our instruction and guide you as you are giving instruction.
So hi Jennifer. My kids enjoyed the book group Christy did with COA at the end of last semester. Will the teachers do group Zoom or Google meetings with their kids once the semester really gets going?
Thanks, Jen. I sure miss you guys. Of course, I mean, we are as anxious as you guys are to get things started and to meet our students and learn who they are. And if that means we can't be in person, then I'm sure I will not be alone in wanting to set up some fun online. So, yeah.
Yeah, we are already brainstorming ideas of what we can do. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed listening to some of the new teachers and some of the creativity they've been bringing to the table with some ideas. So I think they're eager to, once they kind of, get this figured out, which shouldn't take them long, then I think they're really eager to bring some new ideas and fun to the program. So.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Question is, do you have any parent groups, fundraising or field trips? I know that parents have been very, very involved. Every time I'd go to an activity at the portable, it was packed with parents and kids. I'll go ahead and let Christy and Amy take it from there.
Mm-hmm.
And yes,
yeah, right now, because of the COVID restrictions, we don't have anything planned or scheduled, just as we're not able to do it. As we're released back from some of those restrictions, it'll be something that we are going to be adding in. We do not have a parent group. We do have our Facebook page, Friends of COA. And so the parents are very active on there, either supporting each other or setting up dates to get together. Chehalem Cultural Center, they've even worked with other organizations and set up a COA ceramics class so everybody could gather. So I would encourage you to join that. As Tim said, whenever we have a family event, I try to pick things out in the field and things that we can just meet there on site and do a STEM activity. Or last year we made Advent candles, and so we just did it all together. So it's not that we don't want those things. We either aren't allowed to do them, or it just hasn't. That's how we function. So.
And I want to add about the Facebook group. It's only parents. None of us are on it. And there's a lot of veteran COA parents on there that are so happy to help with questions and support.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you give some examples of what families do when they make the curriculum choice not doing through COA? What that typically means is that the family is doing a more traditional homeschool and they've chosen to do that subject on their own. We use state-adopted a curriculum that meets our state standards. And some families want to choose a different curriculum in a certain area, and they can, but then they're basically, that part of their day, they're homeschooling, and they're not connected with COA. Do you want to add anything to that, Christy or Amy?
Oh, really, it's just they've opted out of any type of curriculum through our program. They're taking on the responsibility of providing social studies, for example, that they want to tackle all of the things a child needs to know on their own. So that's what it is.
And often they may have a particular curriculum choice in a particular subject that they really like and they want to do, and they want to do it. I know we have a few families that joined us this year that have been homeschooling, and they wanted a part of COA, but they didn't want the whole thing. And so they're doing some of the subjects they're not doing through COA. And we have some flexibility there. What guidance would you give parents of first-time COA students for a sixth grader when both parents work to get off to a good start for the first week? I think I'll let Amy grab this one.
Wow. I think one thing will be to when you meet with your student's advisory teacher, one of our goals is to set a daily schedule for what works for your child and your family, so that you are around as much as you can be for your child's learning time. Sorry about my cat.
They get $500 per year per kid. I think they're talking about the enrichment activity. It's $500 per semester per student. Yes.
The one little caveat with that is they need to be a full-time student, which means they are taking at minimum 4 courses through our program.
There is Newburgh CrossFit too. Yes, Newburgh CrossFit is one of our vendors or participants, and I understand. I think Jordana, you're the one who told me about that. I understand they're offering a special. So, and it sounded like a pretty good deal for COA families. I don't know if it's just COA families, but she told me about they had a pretty. She told me about it. It's a pretty neat situation. So you might want to check into that. Does the enrichment have to be something new every semester? Our 6th grade is on the Chehalem swim team. Can we use that? It does not have to be new. And yes, you can use it for the Chehalem swim team. And I believe they are one of them. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're one of the places that directly bill us. Mm-hmm. I don't know the definition of the word curriculum. Is it a piece of paper that says that we're supposed to teach, or worksheets? It is the teaching materials. It's the books, the instruction, the assignments. Do you want to run with that, Christy?
Yeah, curriculum is just the umbrella. It's all the things that you're going to use to do. If you're using a McGraw-Hill, you're going to use that to teach from. So you'll have a teacher's guide that gives you directions and helps guide you through the lesson. For the children, it's going to be the workbooks, whether it's handwriting or math or science, and any type of textbooks that have the stories or the information in social studies, for example. The curriculum for our online platforms, that's going to be where all the learning is. The child is going to log on, and they're going to have a menu of choices. So they may have a reading lesson and a math lesson, and that's the curriculum, actually doing the learning piece. It's just the tool that you're using to do the teaching.
For split homes, would both parents have their own login, or would it be shared? I believe it would be shared, but Christy, do you know that?
The student login can be used at either home. If you're using McGraw-Hill, you would be given one teacher platform, and that's what it's called. It's kind of your resource site. So there's really, it's where you find your teacher guide, your answer keys, worksheets, and all that type of stuff. So it would be just like logging onto a website. And then if you're using the Odyssey-ware Edgenuity, it's literally just one login. And so both parents and child will have the same login.
Should we switch out our Chromebook from last year or keep ours from this year? If you still have the Chromebook from last year, you will keep that and you'll just keep using it this year. Is that correct, Luke?
Yes, that is correct.
Are you saying Fuel Ed for high school? Can we explore that curriculum online before Sandy Otis gets a hold of us? Send me an email and I'll see if I can get you a link and get you in it before your meeting with Sandy. When my kids are naughty, do I get to send them to the principal's house? Well, Jenny, since you live next door, and I actually got to deal with your brothers quite a bit when they were in school, that I would be perfectly fine with that. I could put Wyatt to work helping me cut some wood. So, is there a list of contact emails for the staff on COA?
It is
yes,
coming.
But it's not updated.
It is coming, yes. It should be on our webpage in the next couple of days. Lynette has been working literally around the clock trying to get all of your curriculum ordered. And so some of these other details are coming. It's just step one now is in process, and now we can start on things like you being able to contact your teacher.
If the child has an IEP renewed in the spring from a different school district, how do we get that to the correct IEP teacher? Anne, do you want to take this?
Sure, we typically do a records request from the registration. Also, I'm not sure how many COA students that we're going to have from other districts. I haven't looked at the list in about a week. I'm sure it's grown since I looked at it last. So the particular students from out of district, I will probably be assigning a case manager to. So we'll be working on that and get that information to you.
Thank you, Anne. $85 a month for students. Oh, that must be for the what was the lifting, the exercise place, the CrossFit. Thanks, Jordana. Is the COA Welcome Back open house on September 14th in person or a Zoom meeting? It's a Zoom meeting. We'd love to have you in person, but we are not allowed to do that. So that will be a Zoom meeting. We will be excited when we can actually have you back and do some fun live events. If I already ordered art classes through Chehalem Cultural Center yesterday, can I get a reimbursement through the form submitted? I know you mentioned they usually bill directly. If you paid it, you just talk to Lynette and there's a form you fill out and you bring in your receipt and she will get that processed through our business office. Our 6th grader is a tag kid. What does that look like for COA? Amy or Chrissy, you want to grab that?
Go ahead, Aim. 6th grade.
You will be working with your students' teachers to make a plan and talk through what that looks like, make sure the curriculum is where they need to be, how fast they need to go, how deep they need to go. So we're excited to make that plan for your kid.
Yeah, we also have some project-based curriculum. So if they finished up their the basic standards for their grade level and you wanted to go more deeply in a specific science area, for example, we've got some great project-based options that we can plug your child into. So we've got options.
How many hours a day is expected for middle school and high school kids? Typically what we say is 4 to 6 hours, but it is so different for every kid. Students are that, and one of the beauties of COA is, you know, if you're a classroom teacher, you know that some kids do quality work really fast. Some kids do really poor work really fast. Some kids do quality work over a long stretch of time. So each student is so different in what their needs, but we predict 4 to 6 hours. Christy and Amy, you want to add anything on that?
Yeah, they say the typical elementary student takes 4 to 6 hours. Amy, what would you say the average for your middle schoolers are?
We'd say 1 hour per subject per day, but when they log in and say they've got a quiz in one subject, that day they may only spend 15 minutes. So they can choose to be done for that day or they can go on to the next day's lesson in that subject.
Can we get a new charger for my Newburgh School District Chromebook? We already have. My son misplaced his. I think he has to bring the principal a coffee. No, just so. Luke, I believe we can replace that. Do you want to jump in on that?
Yeah, absolutely. We can replace those and get another one. I'm guessing the way for COA to get another one would be through Lynette, most likely. So send an email or call Lynette and she can help out with that.
And you could also email or call Connie Martin if either one of them would be able to, and that gets you the Catalyst office. So how does COA handle the more advanced or gifted students with their workload? Will there be extra work for these students if they finish early? Christy and Amy, wanna grab that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's lots of best things about this program, but one of them is that kids work at their own pace. So if they don't need as many touches on a content area, we can figure out, how to handle that. For example, in math, we could give them a formative assessment. So give them kind of the end of the chapter test at the beginning, and then discern which areas they still need more touches on. Or if they know all of that content, we can give them a performance task. So that would be problem solving and using those standards covered in the chapter to help them move ahead. So I feel very confident that we'll be able to help your child learn at the correct pace and move them along as they can handle. And then the other part of your question, what do we do once we're done? There's lots we can do. So I mentioned the project-based activities, and we can plug them into that, or we can do some independent study. So each child gets time from that teacher to figure out how to help them, and that's one of the best parts of our program.
Do we have to fill out the form to get paid back from electives? I already emailed the receipts through email. So that means Lynette has it. Lynette will probably ask you to fill out the form, because that's the business office is going to want that. So, but if Lynette has your receipts, it's safe. If you give your receipts to me, that's probably not the best idea. So yeah, it's hard to tell jokes to a screen, but that was a joke. Will there be big projects with due dates? We have an elementary and middle school kids.
Yeah, all of the different curriculums that we have all have projects. In Odysseyware, you'll find the projects are either an introduction to a bigger task, like learning how to write a research paper down in 4th grade. It may look like when you pull up your queue that there's 10 projects and you'll be like, what? It's really not that. It's introducing how to write a research paper step by step. So that's one reason we have the projects. The second is just, can they apply the standards that they've been exposed to? So yes, they'll have projects, and if a project pops up and you're like, oh, could we do this instead because my child is more interested, talk with your teacher, because more often than not, they'll be willing to flex with you on switching up the project or changing it up just a bit. It's really okay.
Will there be big, you just answered that. So an hour, a subject is 4 hours a day, give or take. Well, we have the 4 core subjects, but the 4 to 6 hours also includes the enrichment activities, art and physical activities. So it encompasses the whole curriculum, not just the 4 core subjects.
Mm-hmm. And it's the whole thing. It's not just you teaching, it's you teaching and the children practicing and grappling with their learning. It's answering the questions, it's producing the actual task, whether they're writing an essay or whatnot. So we're talking about the whole process. So that whole 4 hours you may not be on because your child is working on writing their paper and things like that. So
I know I'm getting old when my ex-students are on here asking questions for their children. I have a violin teacher scheduled for my daughter to take lessons. Can I use funds for renting the violin? The main thing we want to use the funds for is for the lessons. If there's money left over in the 500, I would consider the renting the violin going along with the lesson. I wouldn't want to rent the violin just to play at home, but if there's a lesson involved, talk to me and I can probably figure that out. And that is the end of the questions.
Oh,
we had talked about going through and introducing everybody again. If you heard the introductions before, you're welcome to say and hear them again, but you're also welcome to leave the Zoom session. But we'll go through and everyone, I'll introduce everyone and they can say hi one more time. So Lynette, I think Lynette had to go, but I'll check. Lynette Hammond, our secretary.
She's gone.
And Christy Smith, she is returning from COA, and she's been with COA the longest of anybody. So, and she has the institutional memory. And then Amy Lutz is also one of our returning teachers, and she is 6 through 8 humanities. And she is, I kind of always think of her as the calm in the storm, because you can never tell what's going on by Amy's expressions. She's always calm. And so that is a nice thing to always have. Then
You
coming
didn't see me
from
earlier today.
Pardon?
You didn't see me earlier today.
I'm glad. So coming from Ewing Young teaching kindergarten is Mary Rior. Mary, you want to say hi?
Hello all. Looking forward to meeting everybody.
And coming from Crater, Jana, can you say that last name for me again, Jana? I am botching that every time.
That's okay. Jana Jasso.
And she's going to be first grade, and she's from Crater.
Hi. I'm so excited to work with all of you guys this year.
And then from Joan Austin, teaching first grade, is Chris Smith.
Hello, I'm excited to meet you all soon.
Coming to us from Dundee, teaching second grade, is Joy Semp.
Hi, everybody.
Coming to us from Maple Rush with a 2-3 blend is Jessica Fox.
Hello, I'm super excited to work with everybody.
From Dundee Elementary School, teaching third grade, is Julie Wilson.
Hi.
That is multitasking, Julie. We love it.
My son's in my co-pilot right now as I'm taking him to soccer practice.
That is right there, the definition of COA. We love it. Coming from Joan Austin, 4-5 blend, is Sarah Thomas.
Hi. And I think my son is watching from his dad's house. So hi, Hudson.
Coming to us from Edwards, a 4-5 split, Eric Fuchs.
Hello again. Tim, if you have trouble with anybody's last name, it should be mine.
Am I getting it right?
Yes, perfect.
All right. Well, welcome to COA, Eric. Coming from Chehalem Valley Middle School, teaching a 4-5 blend, Kim McDonough.
Hey, everybody. Super pumped to do this year with you.
Another Chehalem Valley Middle School recruit, teaching humanities, 6th to 8th grade, Kelly Romo.
Hi, I'm glad to be here, and I can't wait to meet everybody and start the year off.
Coming from Newburgh High School, teaching 6th to 8th humanities, Doyle Holtzman.
Looking forward to it.
Another Newburgh High School teacher we stole, 6th to 8th math, George Vincent.
Hi, guys. See you soon.
And coming from Chehalem Valley Middle School, science, Jessica Spang, 6th to 8th grade science.
Hi, everybody. Can't wait to meet you all.
And we're glad you got into the meeting away from the YouTube video.
Me too.
Jessica was our last person to join, and we were very pumped to get her. So welcome to COA, Jessica. She missed some of the training, so she's going to have some catching up to do, but she's a veteran teacher, and she'll do it no sweat. So I kind of felt like a sportscaster announcing a sports lineup, but if I was, this would definitely be an all-star team where you guys parents are very fortunate to have this group, and we're excited to see what the year brings. We really appreciate you
Tim,
coming on.
I think we got Tim Baker on as well now. Just I think I found him. Hopefully I found the right person.
You forgot me.
And then coming from Catalyst, 6th through 8th humanities, Tim Baker. And I worked with Tim in Oregon City for about 10 years, and that's the longest I've ever seen his hair. Been in a cave.
Hi, everybody. I've been listening online. I guess my video's on now. I don't know. I don't know technology, so this will be a learning experience. So I'm old. Not older than Tim, but I'm old.
We sure appreciate everybody for coming to our meeting. please reach out to us if you have more questions. And I also want to thank all the staff for joining us tonight. And we look forward to working with you and your family and your students all year long. Have a great evening.